Hey guys, Chris here and welcome to another Destiny PvP video. In this one we'll be revisiting the SUROS PDX 45 pulse rifle, which can be obtained from the gunsmith. So this gun was really sought after a couple months ago during the pulse rifle meta, but after the pulse rifle nerf back in December, it has kind of been forgotten again, and I rarely see anyone using it. But this gun is still great, but when you look at the other four main primaries that people use at the moment, the Mida, Last Word, Thorn, and Doctrine, it makes sense that the PDX has been forgotten. Not because it's a bad gun, but because of the amount of hype that there was for the Mida coming to Year 2 and how strong the Last Word and Thorn become after the buff that was in the same patch as the pulse rifle nerf. And the Doctrine of Passing is just a melt machine, and it's an auto rifle, and people have not been used to having good auto rifle for a long time, so there's no wonder that people love the Doctrine. But I think it's time we bring back the PDX because it's still a great gun, and I honestly almost forgot about it too, but I decided to use it for a couple runs during trials on Exodus Blue. And ever since that, it's been my go-to gun for PvP again. It's not quite as strong as the previously mentioned weapons, but it's pretty close, if you have a good roll at least. And before we take a look at the perks I have, let's just have a brief look at the stats. I assume most of you are familiar with it, but it's a mid to low impact class of pulse rifle. This means you'll be doing 25 damage to the head and 17 to the body, and it'll take between 8 and 12 bullets to kill in PvP, which is equivalent to 3 to 4 bursts. The base range is in the low end at 22, but for most PvP maps this is more than enough. And the base ability is 75 and can easily be maxed out, and it's got a very fast reload speed too and a max size of 30 rounds. It's also got a relatively high aim assist stat at 70, which is part of the reason this gun feels so good, and a fast equip speed of 71. In terms of perks, mine has fitted stock, counterbalance, and small bow, which is very close to the perfect roll. Ideally, it would have perfect balance instead of fitted stock, but it's not a big deal, especially since counterbalance helps out with the recoil too. What I really like about this is that the recoil is very low, and whatever little recoil there is entirely vertical, which is fantastic for pulse rifle. No matter what, I think maxing out the stability for this weapon is the way to go, so you'll be looking to combine either perfect balance and small bow, or Hammerblade stock with Hammer Forged. This way you can max out stability without taking any real hit to the range. Some would argue that counterbalance isn't necessary, especially with maxed out stability, which I do understand, but personally I quite like the vertical recoil that you get with counterbalance, and I just think it improves the feel of the weapon. But if you don't value counterbalance, you can always go for perks like Headseeker, Outlaw, or even Full Auto. Those are probably the best 3 options excluding counterbalance. What I really love about the PDX 45 is that it's very consistent and it feels great. It's one of those weapons that isn't the best at anything, but it's good at everything. Doctrine and Last Word are better in close quarters, and Mida's better at medium to long ranges, but the PDX can still compete with all those guns within their effective ranges. But where Last Word and Doctrine lose efficiency outside of close quarters, the PDX is still well within its effective range, and much in the same way when the Mida starts feeling a bit too clunky and unreliable at close range, the PDX still performs well. So it's a very versatile gun that you can always rely on, but you will be losing out to some guns that have more specific roles for specific ranges. In terms of the feel of this gun, the main reason it feels so good is the aim assistance. It's obviously a very controversial stat, but I think a lot of people don't realize that the reason Destiny feels so good in general is because of aim assist. To give you an example, try going into PvP with the Hung Jury Scout Rifle from Dead Orbit, and then use the Vision of Confluence for the following game. The Vision feels way better than the Hung Jury, and that's because the Hung Jury has a very low aim assist stat, whereas the Vision of Confluence is significantly higher. But back to the PDX, as I mentioned, it has an aim assist value of 70, which is in the high end. This gives the weapon a much smoother feeling, and the recoil is very easy to manage too, which also helps out. But other than that, it's just fun to use something that isn't considered to be among the strongest weapons in the game. It's definitely not a weak gun. I honestly feel like this weapon is perfectly balanced in its current state. And outgunning Midas, Last Words, and Doctrines and Trials with this thing is some of the most fun I've had with this game in a long time. If you have one of these in the vault, I highly recommend you pick it up and use it again. And for those of you who don't have it, keep an eye out on the gunsmith and pick it up as soon as you can. And if you have to hold on to the package until you see that perfect roll, then do it. That's it for me guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.